What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, people? January 6th, we are here. Full effect, got everything. Lights, camera, action. Philly Will spill. First of all, I want to take some of this Duce XO. We're getting to the next phase. And then I told you guys January 6th, we will be in full effect. We are in full effect. Everything. Round of applause for me making sure I do what the subscribers are asking me to do and step my game up. I have stepped my game up. So round of applause. We ain't gonna drink it all. We'll go for a drink. Just do say XO. All right, so we discussed 4 topics today. We're gonna discuss the NFL playoff picture, the Lions' victory yesterday, Jarod Mayo being fired. I definitely want to talk about that. That's very controversial. We are not going to let that just slip past us as consumers of the NFL product. And we're going to talk lastly about Tyreek Hill and his controversy that he got going on. Because I want to show you how the NFL pick and choose. And one of those things that you only good as your talent lets you be in the field of work, wherever you work at, depending on how your boss deal with you and how you performing. So, first thing first, please like and subscribe. My name is Philly Will. This is the Philly Will channel. I don't consider myself to be a podcaster, but I am the person that's going to talk about sports, entertainment, and real life issues and give it to you real, not like the people that you see on TV, where sometimes it doesn't come off real and it come off not genuine or sometimes lack some integrity. So, first thing we're going to talk about is the playoff picture. So, without further ado, but please work with me. I'm not going to go as fast as I usually do, but I'm not going to go slow either. So, in the AFC, we have Chiefs are number 1, Bills are number 2, Ravens are number 3, Texans are number 4, Chargers are number 5, Steelers are number 6, and the Broncos are number 7. In the NFC, we have Lions number 1, Eagles number 2, Buccaneers number 3, Rams number 4, Vikings 5, Washington Commanders 6, and the Packers 7. For those who don't know, some of my people that like to walk through everything, we will have the Bills facing the Broncos, Ravens facing the Steelers, Texans facing the Chargers. We will have the Eagles facing the Packers. We will have the Buccaneers facing the Commanders and the Rams facing the Vikings. The slate is 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, and 1 game on Monday. I will go into deep details on when, where, and all of that in my future episodes this week. But that is what we have lined up for the NFL playoff picture. So let's give a round of applause because we have the playoffs coming in. That's all I'm going to do for that topic. Like I said, I'm going to get deeper into it later on in the week. Plus, I got some other topics that's probably going to be a little lengthy. So, going back to the Lions' victory yesterday. So, for those who, basically everybody who watched the NFL should have watched last night, but the Lions popped the Vikings yesterday. Popped them. 31-9. 31-9. You had the Lions. Jared Goff was 27 for 33, 231 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. Jahmyr Gibbs was the show. He was everything yesterday. He rushed for 139 yards off of 23 carries and 3 rushing touchdowns. He also caught the ball 5 times for 31 yards and a touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 77 yards. Laporta had 63 yards. Jameson Williams had 34 yards. And that was really about the size of it outside of Craig Reynolds for 8 carries because Montgomery is not in. And he had 39 yards as well. But the only person that scored the touchdowns, all 4 of them, was Jahmyr Gibbs. So, round of applause for Jahmyr Gibbs for putting on that show and the Lions for that victory yesterday. So, going back to the game at hand yesterday, if you wasn't a Detroit Lions fan, you really didn't watch the game probably past the 3rd quarter. If you were in Detroit, it would have been somebody like Kansas City and let's say the Chargers, and that thing would have went the same way. Everybody would have went to sleep and got ready for work the next day because that's just how that game looked yesterday. Defensive coordinator for the Lions, he put on a good show. They touched Sam Darnold at least 12 times yesterday. Sam Darnold looked real frail and scared at times, and They actually put Justin Jefferson and them wide receivers in man coverage and said, we're going to put them in man, let them be covered by one person, and we're going to blitz Sam Darnold all day, and he's going to have to beat us with his intellect to read the line of scrimmage pre-snap and his arm placing the ball in the right spot as we're playing man-to-man coverage, but we're coming as soon as the ball hiked. And they did a great job because they only scored 9 points. They were in the red zone, the Vikings, 3 times and came up with 0 before they scored the 1 touchdown at the end of the game. So, as I was watching the game, I'm like, something not right. How in the hell the Vikings and the Packers got the records that they got, but they can't never beat the Lions? Now, before I go into this, that don't take away nothing from the Lions. The Lions are the best team in the NFC North, and they're one of the best teams in the NFC and in the NFL. So we're not taking nothing from the Lions. But when you have people records are what they are, and they play a team twice, and you put on shows that you put on, the first one was better than this one, and this team was supposed to be better, the Vikings, towards the end of the year, and they are, and they come and put this type of show on, and FanDuel got paid a lot. They cleaned up yesterday because the Vikings was a no-call, no-show. No-call, no-show. So, I said, let me look at the schedule for the Vikings and the Packers to see who they played, because sometimes numbers can be deceiving. So, pulling it up yesterday, I looked. So, we're going to do the Vikings first, since they played last night. The Vikings played week 1. This is how I judge your strength of schedule. See, everybody talk about that during the season. In the first 5 or 6 games, it's too early. The second 8 to 10 games, then you can start looking at it and dissecting it. In the back end of the schedule, you really know how well a team was tested based on your playoff teams and your non-playoff teams. Your team that's on the back end of the draft and your teams is at the front 10 to 15 of the draft coming up. So, Vikings. The Vikings played in week 1, the Giants, beat them 28-6, non-playoff team. Then they played the San Francisco 49ers, beat them 23-17. At that time, San Francisco was all right, but they still had injuries that was plaguing them, non-playoff team. Then they played the Houston Texans, beat them 34-7, playoff team in the AFC, lower seed, but it's a playoff team, so that's 1. Then they went to the Vikings, and they beat the Vikings 31-29. It was close, division game. I expected it to be somewhat close, but playoff team, that's 2. Then they played the Jets 23-17. Everybody know about the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is gone. Players don't want him back. The ownership is terrible. Coach was fired in the middle of the season. So, non-playoff teams. We're still at 2. They had a bye week, week 6. Then they played playoff team, Detroit Lions. Lost, 29-31. Lost. Then we go to week 8. Lost to the Rams. Playoff team. So now we got 2 teams you beat, 2 teams you lost to that are playoff teams. Let's go to the next week. Week 9, they beat the Colts, non-playoff team. Week 10, they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, 12-7, non-playoff team. Week 11, they beat the Tennessee Titans, non-playoff team, 23-13. Week 12, Chicago Bears, non-playoff team, 30-27. Then they played the Arizona Cardinals, non-playoff team, 23-22. They beat them by 1 point. Then they played the Atlanta Falcons, non-playoff team, but they could have got in, had the Buccaneers would have lost, 42-21. They won. Then they played the Bears again, beat them 30-12 this time, non-playoff team. Then they played the Seattle Seahawks, non-playoff team, but they could have got in. Then they played the Green Bay Packers, beat them, playoff team, but it's the same team. And then they lost again to the Lions. So we got them playing. They beat 1. They beat 1. They beat 2. They beat 2 playoff teams. They beat the Houston Texans and the Green Bay Packers. That's it. And their record is 14-3. Or, yes, 14-3. I believe that's their record. 14-3. If I'm correct, it might be. Yeah, it's 14-3. The Lions are 15-2. They ain't play nobody. They ain't play nobody. That's why they record like that. They are a good team. They got studs, Addison, Jefferson, Jones. Sam Darnold came back, but you didn't play nobody. You played the Lions, the Rams, and the Packers. Three teams out of the 7 that go to the playoff in the NFC. And then in the AFC, you only played the Texans. You played the Texans. You played the Lions, the Packers, the Texans. You beat the Texans. You lost to the Packers. You split with them, and then you lost both times to the Lions, and you lost to the Rams. That's why they had me in a conniption when I'm putting all my money in on FanDuel, thinking this game was going to be 31-28, 35-28, like I said, and it came out to be 31-9. Vikings, when y'all get ready to play the Rams, please do not come with that same thing over and over again. And you lost to the Rams. Please do not come with that. Let's go to the Packers. Packers. Schedule. Week 1, they played my team over there in Brazil. They lost 34-29. Then they played, that was a playoff team. Then they played the Colts, won 16-10. Then they played the Titans, won 30-14, both non-playoff teams. Then they played the Vikings, lost. Playoff team, 31-29. Then they played the Rams. They beat the Rams, playoff team, 24-19. Then they played the week 6. They played the Cardinals, won, non-playoff team, 34-13. Week 7, they won against the Texans, 24-22. Playoff team. Week 8, Jacksonville Jaguars, 30-27, non-playoff team. Week 9, Lions, lost, playoff team. Chicago Bears, won, non-playoff team. 49ers, won, non-playoff team. Miami Dolphins, won, non-playoff team. Detroit Lions again, lost, playoff team. Seattle Seahawks, won, non-playoff team. New Orleans Saints, won, non-playoff team. Minnesota Vikings, lost, they playoff team. Chicago Bears, lost, non-playoff team. And that was the size of their season. So they split with the Vikings. And they beat the Rams. They lost twice to the Lions. And they beat the Texans. So, Texans and Vikings and Rams. They beat 3 playoff teams. And they lost to the Lions twice. So, somewhat decent, but still. You see where I'm getting with that when I say one, non-playoff team, non-playoff team, non-playoff team. You ain't play nobody. You ain't play nobody. AFC South was subpar at best. Doug Peterson is fired. The coach, Steichen, is on the edge. Irsay going to give him another year, but he on the edge. Tennessee, I don't even know who the coach is over there. And Will Levis threw probably 12 interceptions before week 6. Then you have, who am I missing? The Texans. They looked good, but then they told the story towards the back end of the season. They can't block to save C.J. Stroud's life. Then you played the NFC West. Cardinals, trash. Rams, all right. Seahawks, subpar. And then the last team in that division is is Rams, Cardinals. Who is it? It's Rams, Cardinals. Somebody I'm forgetting. Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks, and the 49ers. Injury played. So they ain't playing nobody. They haven't played nobody. So all them times when I'm gearing up thinking that they going to go ahead and at least split with the Lions, one of them going to beat the Lions, then nobody beat the Lions in the NFC North. Nobody. They won all 6 of the games. All 6 of them. So Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings, y'all better get it together before y'all go in the playoffs. And I know some people looking at this like, all right, Philly will. The Packers playing the Eagles. Packers playing the Eagles. Okay. They playing us. We the 2 seed for a reason. And we beat them already. Hard to beat the NFL team twice. But Love sometimes looks shaky. You got injuries, I heard, with one of the wide receivers. Watson going to be out. Then you got Jaden Reed, Romeo Downs, and Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft, they best They best target. Josh Jacobs is the best offensive player. You stop Josh Jacobs, they done. They're done. They can't get no screens or with these little bitty 5'9" wide receivers behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage with no screens, or they can't get no time for Jordan to get that ball off. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. I put a bet with a friend. I gave him 13 points. Dan Campbell better get coach of the year. Dan Campbell, I'll give you applause. You had 14 players out in the defense against the Lions. Azaloni came back, but Arnold went out in the game. So, Dan Campbell, I'll give you applause. You did a hell of a job, man, with them Detroit Lions, man. All right, next topic. Still got to keep it moving. Third topic. Jarod Mayo fired after 1 year. Shots fired on this one. Shots fired. Shots fired at the NFL. Now, come on now, y'all. Jarod Mayo is fired after 1 year. When he was with the Patriots under Belichick, he was the heir apparent to be the coach. He was told he was going to be the coach while Bill Belichick was still there. The record last year for Bill Belichick was 4-13. Before that, it was terrible. Before that, it was terrible. We talk about after Brady. All his years was terrible. Now, Bill Belichick is not Jarod Mayo. His accolades, awards, and achievement is way by far the greatest coach in the NFL in my book. So, but it's still, fairness is fairness. Let's get off Bill Belichick. We had a lot of controversy things in the NFL. Let's start with the fact that the Colin Kaepernick situation. You see how that went. Then you had Brian Flores, the coach of the Dolphins, had the tank to get a #1 draft pick, and then he was fired. Then he put a lawsuit out February the 1st of 2022 for the NFL discriminating against African Americans with the hiring process. NFL have a lot of shaky things that they do, and we still watch this product because we like it, but they do a lot of non-integrable things in this league. Let's continue. So Jarod Mayo is fired. Like I said, he was told he would be the head coach before he even got the head coach position, and these head coaches typically sign a 3 to 5 year deal. This season, I'm going to name coaches that's been fired in the season and after the season, and all these coaches have been here more than 1 year. Jets, Robert Saleh. Chicago, Matt Eberflus. Saints, Dennis Allen. After the season so far, Doug Peterson. All of these people been here more than a year. All of them been here more than a year. I'm going to keep it real. I'm not going to be like the TV. What's the race? Non-African American, Robert Saleh, Matt Eberflus, Dennis Allen, Doug Peterson. They all had more than a year. This man get fired after 1 year. After 1 year. And like I said in some of my episodes about morals and values, we got to stand up for that. Don't sweep that under the rug. Don't let the NFL playoffs remove our attention away from something that was done that was very, very non-integrable for the NFL. And I love the NFL. I love the NFL. But my thing is he should have not been fired after 1 year. Come on, y'all. You shouldn't have gave him the job. Now we're hearing allegedly Vrabel and Ben Johnson is the people, and we're hearing Vrabel change his avatar allegedly to the Patriots colors, I think on Twitter or whatever social media platform. So he already basically saying he's getting the job. If Vrabel get the job, that's terrible, man. That's terrible. But I always believe in karma. Even if they do get a head coach, the Patriots probably going to get torn apart where they're going to have losing seasons for probably the next 2 to 3 years. The length of his contract, they're probably going to still stay in it. Because you don't do that. I don't care what the business is. You don't do that. Not the way the NFL go. They typically give head coaches 3 years to get it together. And then they fire them. The first year, you're inheriting somebody else's personnel. Then you put yours together with the draft. The second year, you put some of your players in. You're getting your culture even more instilled. You're trying to get your traction, your wheels on, win more games in your first year. And your third year is your make or break year. It's your contract year. So my spill on that was NFL. That was wrong. New England Patriots, that was wrong. And that was sad on the NFL part. And we're going to try to sweep it under the rug. That was sad. Terrible. Bad publicity for the NFL. And I love the NFL. But what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. All right. Last topic. Tyreek Hill. Brace yourself for this, man. I don't know what's be wrong with these NFL players, man, or what be going to their head. And I know Tyreek at sometimes can come off as divish, but he definitely came off as divish yesterday. So I'm going to play some stuff for y'all. First thing I'm going to play for y'all is the fact that Tyreek Hill yesterday in the fourth quarter made himself unavailable to get back in the game, and it was not injury-related at all. But I'm going to let the head coach, Mike McDaniels, tell you for himself.
Tyreek Hill moments ago.
One second. Gotta turn this back on. 1 second. All right, here we go.
Wants out from the organization. How do you react to that? And do you want Tyreek back?
I think in regard to things that are.
I'm sorry, that's not it. Let's go to Tyreek Hill first. What he said in the locker room after he made himself unavailable. Let's go to that first.
My first time I haven't been in the playoffs, man. So, I mean, for me, like I said, man, I just got to do what's best for me and my family, dog. If that's here, if that's wherever the case may be, man, I'm finna open that door for myself, dog. As I'm opening the door, like I'm out, bro. So it was great playing here, but.
You thinking about leaving here?
If it is, hey, yes. This is my.
So if you didn't hear him, he basically said he never missed the playoffs. It's tough. I'm out of here. The interview asked him, so you mean to think about leaving here? He turned his face and then just walked off. So basically, yeah, he don't want to be playing for the Miami Dolphins no more. But I'm gonna let you. I gotta pull up this one where Mike McDaniels talked about how he left the game. Give me 1 second. Here you go. This is it right here.
I was informed that he was unavailable right before a drive. I was not informed that it was a new injury, and I think at that point in time my focus was on the players, and I didn't take the time to go try to figure out more into that. Just there was guys on the field that were competing, and we were trying to win a game, so my focus was there. I
was informed that he's unavailable for a non-injury related matter, and I took my focus off of him and put my focus on the players that was trying to play the game. We were trying to win a game. Okay. I'm going to give my spiel on this two different ways. On Tyreek and his decision-making in his life and his career. I don't want to talk about his personal life. And I'm going to give my spiel on a certain situation that was done in the NFL and what happened. And show you how we pick and choose in careers when we're bosses. In the pregame for Tyreek. So, Tyreek left the Chiefs after they gave him some money because there wasn't enough money. And the Dolphins threw the bag at him, so he went to the Dolphins. Then Tyreek took several shots at Patrick Mahomes, talking about Tua is more accurate, just gloating and talking crap. Now, Tyreek was the #1 player in the league last year. So, when everything is good, everything is good. When everything is bad, now you show who you really are as far as a teammate. So, tore the league up last year. I'm not going to go over the stats, but he was the #1 player picked by his peers last year. So, you got the money. You went to the Dolphins. You poked at the Chiefs. And you're the #1 player. Everything good. Then when it's not so good, you come out and you beat this type of teammate. You come out and beat this type of player. You got kids looking up to you. You got paid. You got to take the L's and you got to celebrate the wins. And right now, the season was an L. It is what it is. Yes, he said QB #1, took stabs at Tua a little bit. At least I thought that what it was. Well, Can't do nothing without QB1. QB1 got to be there. Man, you knew Tua was an injury prone before he got into the league. Tua been getting them concussions. So, misses with that. So that's my spiel on Tyreek. Your decision making, man. Your decision making and your attitude towards the team and the way you make yourself look was terrible. You got paid. You went off for the Dolphins. When Tua was there, you got your yards. You got your touchdowns. You was the #1 player. Then when your team not doing so good, you do this. You one of them people where you only good with people as far as how much they can do for you or how much they can make you look good. Don't do that, man. Don't do that. You terrible for that. You terrible for that. The other side of it. Devondre Campbell for the San Francisco 49ers did the same thing Tyreek Hill did, and he walked off the field. The San Francisco 49ers suspended him so he couldn't be picked up by another team. Deontay Johnson did the same thing for the Steelers. They let him go, and I think they let him go where he could get picked up by another team, but they didn't pick him up. Let's see if the Miami Dolphins are going to cut Tyreek Hill or do something to Tyreek Hill where he doesn't come back next year and they allow him to go to another team. Or let's see if they make bygones be bygones. Because now I'm hearing people, they're saying, oh, it was heated. It was a terrible. Man, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. He needs to be disciplined in some form or fashion. We ain't sweeping this up under the rug. Once again, morals and values mean something. And you cannot allow this to be like that. But once again, Devondre Campbell, I don't even know if he was ranked on the NFL players top 100. He wasn't your #1 player like Tyreek Hill. So when people come out, TV and radio, and you say, let Devondre Campbell go, we need to be hearing right now y'all saying, let Tyreek go. That's why I made my channel. I don't hear that. When Devondre Campbell did what he did, we had a list of people coming out saying, cut him, fire him. I can't win with a teammate like that. He quit on his team. It's his team. No matter what he had going on with the ownership and upper management, he shouldn't have did that to his team. You let him go. Fire him. I don't hear nobody saying that about Tyreek. I'm going to drink on that. The same rules need to apply no matter the talent. When you quit on your team and say, I'm not going back in the game, and you have a press conference or a locker room interview like you had saying you basically quit and you done with the Miami Dolphins, Stephen Ross, get rid of him. What you did to Devondre Campbell, not Stephen, what they did to him, what they did to Deontay Johnson, you can't win with nobody like that. You can't win with nobody like that. You a diva #1 and you self-centered #2. You got to go. You got to go. You take them L's with that team, and you get them victories with that team. Regroup, see what happened, get it together, and go back to next year. That's terrible. That's terrible. And everybody that's watching my channel need to understand, Will, why you so mad? I'm not mad. I just want things to be fair and consistent in the NFL, no matter the talent. If you quit on your team and you double down on it in your interview press conference, like Devondre Campbell did, and like Deontay Johnson did, the same thing needs to apply no matter the talent. That is terrible. So, that's my spiel on that. Tomorrow I'll be talking about the state of hip-hop and R&B. I feel the need to talk about that. I'll go into the playoff pictures and give details on game times, strategies, and a list of other things that I wanted to talk about. This is not off the top of my head, but that's it, man. And like I say all the time, I'm Philly Will all day, every day, and twice on Sundays, and I'm out.